Good evening, everyone. I'm Jonathan Fry, and skateboarding does not define who I am. And I came here today to tell everyone a very personal story. So on August 1st, 2011, it was a normal day for me. I rode my fixie to Ramsey Skate Park, and it was around 11:30, 12 o'clock. And none of my friends were there because they showed up later. And so I was just skating by myself, minding my own business. And then I noticed these two people that I'd never seen in my life. They just come into the skate park. And I'm skating around, keeping an eye on them. And I noticed one of the guys, he just grabbed my bike off the side of the fence in the skate park, and he just started walking off with it. And I started freaking out, because this bike's like $430, and my dad bought it for me, so I'm just freaking out. So I got my skateboard, and I threw it down, and I went as fast as I could, and I confronted him. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Oh, we're taking your bike." And then they both got on their bikes, and they started to leave. And so I grabbed the seat of my bike, and I started pulling it. And so the guy kind of like fell off, and he like grabbed the handlebars, and I had it on the seat, and I had like my board, and I was just yelling at him. And I grabbed the seat, and I was just yelling profanities. And I pulled him like maybe like 6 feet. Like the adrenaline just came over me, and I just started pulling him, and I was screaming, and I made a big old scene. And I brought attention to them, and they started freaking out. So they noticed, and they started walking away, and I'm still holding my skateboard up, yelling profanities when they're walking away. And then I went back in the skate park after I got my bike back. And I tried to skate, but I really couldn't because my legs were so like wobbly, and like I was just really shaken up about the whole event. And so I decided to leave, and I went to Target, the one on Main Street, and I sat down on the bench, and I called my dad, and I told him what happened. And he's like, "Whoa, you gotta go home." Because when I was like pulling the bike away from them, like one of them threatened me, like, "Hey, do you want to get shot?" And I was like, "What? Like, what's Watsonville coming to? Like, come on." And so he's like, "Make a police report." And I'm like, "I don't know, maybe." And so I rode my bike home, and I told my mom about this. She's like, "Whoa, make a police report." And I was like, "Oh, maybe." And so I finally decided to make a police report, and the officer met me at the skate park, and I gave him like the information, like what they looked like and everything. And then I went home, and I was like, "Oh, I want to skate. I want to skate. I want to go to the skate park. I want to go back." And around 30 minutes later to an hour after I got back home, I went back to the skate park because I was addicted to skateboarding. And so I was playing a game of skate like 4 hours later at the skate park, and skating for like 4 hours. And well, skate's like horse and basketball, but skate is with a skateboard and skating tricks. And I was playing, and it was my turn. And I noticed this guy, I've never seen this guy either, and he's just walking up to me, like randomly. And he walks up to me, and he's like right in my face. And he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" And so I stuck my left hand out to say like, "What's up?" just to be friendly, not be like a mean person. And he like hits me in the face. And I was like, "What?" And he starts running. And I started running after him. I don't know why, it's just an instinct. Because I was like, why would this guy slap me in the face? And so he ran up to the top of the hill at the skate park, and he called me a snitch. And by then I was like, I'm giving up. He just slapped me, like whatever. And so I went back to my game of skate, and I was like, "Whose turn is it?" And my friend was like, "Whoa, dude, you need to go home." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "You're bleeding." And I touched like the bottom of my nose, and I was like, "Oh, he slapped me and he gave me a nosebleed. That's like embarrassing." And he's like, "No, you need to go to the hospital." And then when he said that, I looked down, and all kinds of blood was dripping out of my face, all over my shoes, my skateboard, my pants. And I guess he stabbed me with something. And that's it. And so my friend came over to me, and he's like, "Dude, what happened?" And this guy's been skating with me for like 4 hours. And so he was all sweaty, and so he took his shirt off, He's like, put this on your face. So I put this really sweaty shirt on my face. And so he was taking me to the hospital, and we flagged over a cop, and the cop told to get backup. And so when backup was arriving, I was sitting in my friend's car, and my other friend that came with us, he's like, whoa, let me see your face. And I took the shirt off, and he looked at it, he's like, whoa, I can't even look at you. And I was tripping out. And so I started crying, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And so when backup arrived, 2 of my friends went with the police officers, and they went to go look for this guy that stabbed me in the face. And then when they went with him, the police officer the initial police officer that we flagged down, called my mom. And so my mom came. She was freaking out, obviously, because she's a mom. And so she drove me to the hospital, and when I was about to get stitches, and I noticed that a police officer came in and he said that they found the kid, and I was like, oh, that's good. And so they laid me down, and then they sterilized it and put needles in it and stuff, and then they gave me stitches. I got 18 stitches. And after that, I just went home and I sat on my bed, and I was like really sad and scared. And I was like, whoa, what happened today? And if I had to go back to this, it bled for 3 days. And so that was day number 2 or something like that. And so it wouldn't stop bleeding. I'd get blood everywhere. But if I had to go back to this and report everything again and do the right thing again, I would. Because you can't let the bad people succeed. And so I was that lone nut person that made the police report, and even though it was really hard, I made the police report, and I was like, no one really does that. You don't see, because they might be scared of what happens and everything, but I was that crazy nut that made that police report. But if all of you would get the bravery to make these police reports when anything happens, then crime would go down, because people wouldn't want to do bad things because they know the consequences, people are going to tell on you. So once all you guys start doing this, we can start a movement to stop crime and make a better community. Thank you.